A waile sui au ale atunuu I se mfona tanga tawa. Whaamaoni le fono whaitula fono I ona maota e lua le sunga ya Dr. Lia Lofi uyanga le ni. E whaatalo whātu Amerika Samoa lau whawhonga I le nei tū lau le fiafi e ala inisi o whaupoponga o tala mai lau KVZK TV. O se tase o poutu toa o le pūlenga le tise ma le suawai ua walawina e lona matai. O le anganga o tia ua longo ai le sau whainga le komiti whaafoe le sunga I le pule ma le au whainga luenga atoa le aspa. I le toa se ai o le awhiunga le sanga politele le sunga le usua li ala watai rino vivao. O le sa whaululu iai le whaangai oina o tawalumanga a le aspa. E wala au e lona matai o le umia le sunga le usua li ala watai rino vivao le tofinga o le Chief of Operations a le pulenga o le elitise ma le suawai. I se pepa o whaamatalanga mai le board ma le ali pule e whaapea o le tautua ala watai tutolo le pulenga sa amata mai le tausanga tasiiwa I watolu. Ina ua whatoa I ua o onga mai lea onga mawalunga al matata ese le vautea ki tafuna I le tausanga lava lea. Sa whaafai le ina lona soifuanga lue le aspa. E le awhionga ya utu e pumalai o se tasi o mua e tangata whainga luenga sa atu ina atu I atu no mamao mua o onga whaapitua I lalo le polokalama le aspa apprenticeship. Sa avema engineering technician foreman, transmission and distribution supervisor, project engineer, malitaitayo transmission and distribution. Sa se eani le tofing o le Chief of Operations I le tausanga I luma mai, matautua ai mo le sifuluono tausanga. O le tele o lona soifuanga lue, sa ilalo le taitainga a le sunga ya utu, o na soa I lea ma le sunga ya Wallen Young. O le sa avea mala au mafala na aufanga iaila na aufenga luenga, ma le tautua matavela I le whaatinoino o na tiute I le mamalu lau tele o le atinu o I tausanga I tele. O se taitae longa lana tautua I le pūlenga I le atinu o whaapea ainga ma le ekalesia. Sa whaapalepale I le ngalua ma le sowa. Manatu I le nei vasa tele sa taupea au maiai. O ia lava ua mapu iai o tātou mawhatianga. O lana lava pule e whetala iane ia whaapea ma whaapea o na whaapea nā lava lea. Fai mai le fai salamo, ua ta oto ia te ia le au pe au. Ia maua e a inga le wha mawhanawhananga silia le atua. Ai mese le loto tele le fale tua ia Christian mi vau. Wha pele mamalu I le komiti wha afoe. Ma le au whainga luenga a le pūlenga a le letise ma le suawai. Wha pele pa ia le whainga malo ma le atunu. Nunu yatu lilei mai lau KVZK News. Sa awai le sui au le atunu I Washington le awhionga ia ui whaatali au mua amata I se tase o whanotanga le komiti ale maota o sui I mata upu tau I le nisula I fuafuanga ale interior a wale ati na ai malipuipuinga ale malo tele I atu motu al Pasifika.
O mata upusa antara noina e au fiai le whainga paanga niso antumoto le Pasifika ma le atunu usaina. I le saininga a au ale malo Samoa whaatasia I ma le atukuki masaina. Whapea fo I le malo Kiribati. E le ngata ilea a o le vaaya o nisi o vaa whangota maisi atunu o lo o whaangota ina vae ngā sami wa whaatangaina mo Amerika Samoa. O nei soli ngā tū la fono lo tamu whai eile sui au au. Ina ia talosanga ina le iai o si ofisa le Coast Guard I te tono le territory. E mo mia le Pasifika le puipuinga le malo tele mai le soli tū la fono a isi atunu te tele.
O le aso anafi lea sa whaataunu ina I se tase o sauninga. Po le induction ceremony I le maota o le multi-purpose I le kolisi tu whaatase o Amerika Samoa. O le aunga o aute o le nei whaamoe moe, o le whaawina leo nisi o alo o le atunuu, o loa o tauwina I le kolisi tu whaatasi, ina ia vea mawaenga o tau o le National Honor Society, o le Order of the Sword and Shield o le vaenga le nei sa whaatautaia le nei sauninga. E to as furu wha nau e patino iai lea fuafuanga sa awai I le aso anafi, e peon silefia o le taimi mua lava le nei, ua whaataunu ina ai le tu ainga whaamoe moe I le territory. Inisi o tala o le o toe mafuli fo i finangalo o le fono fai tu la fono e pasia se tasi o sui o kabineta le sunga ya Dr. le alofi ui angalilei e avia makomasina o fai ngā pālota a le atunu.
O le upasi ina le fono faitu la fono yona maunta e lua, le tofinga le kovana sili, mo le sisunga ya Dr. le alofi ui angalilei e avia makomasina o le ofisa o pālota le atunu. O le nei fai unga tāua e muri mai se vai taimi o ilu ilonga ina ua tolopo le komito tu la fono le senate le pālota whaamonia i le vai aso taluai. Na sa ilia le komiti se whaamalamlamanga e whaatatau le kone karate whai ngā duenga au i anga lei mai le whai ngā malo ma vai atu le ana ia whai loa o loo tu maupea lo na whaatu la fono ina se ia o atu i le masino Januari le tausang fau. I le taimi o taurumanga le senate na whaalia i le awhionga le senatoa i a mga leilongo fii o le taitai fono fo i leo le komiti o tu la fono le senate i anisio popolenga e winga i le tofinga au i anga lei. I le mai ai o le whaamoningo tofinga o i anga lei o le atau avei nai loa e ia le tofinga o le komisina o whai ngā pālota a le atunu.
Tātou tala mai a pia o le palemia o Samoa le awhionga ia fia me Naomi mata afa o le otu maupea o na avea mataitai o le malo ina ua sao mai le pālota lo na lua o le whaatuatua ina i le lua vai aso nei.
O le awhionga i ala auli le Watea Smith o le taitei fono le whaatutua i le atua Samoa tasi na whaatu le lafo o le tari tunuina. O whai unga na whaalia ai e toa tore se fururua whai pule na te e le lafo e toa se fumareiva na lango wina. Sa mana o mia e fia me se vaenga toa tele e tu mauai i le tofi le ana talia ai e sui o le tu te te na palota i te te lo na whaate aina. A o le i whaia le palota na pola ina ai e le funga wheta lai o le mauta i a papali i li o ta euma sipau. Le ave ese mai o le minista mo ngā ruenga whila o inga mātina ese ia olo fiti va ai. Whapea i le minista o mo pisi nisi le malo ia lantinu uwain so o yalo. E le ileva ai toi vala awina i lantou e palota i le lafo o le whaatu tuaina. Ina ua toe amata le palemene ina ua mai ale malolonga na whaaudu e olo se lafo e whaatatau i le fonga wheta lai a papali i li o masipau. Na whaitio ina malosi olo fiti va ai le whai unga le fonga wheta lai e lea mana i aina ai se lafo mai le kāpeneta ona o le whai tu au o papali i. Na lungala lo le tulanga na iai le palemene ina ua whaatuina e olo le lafo o le whaatutua no le fonga wheta lai. Ma na whaatunuina e le fonga wheta lai le santini o le palemene ina ia whaatulai ese minista ma whafo le palemene.
Mao le aso ai matalo le tau malitai mo Amerika Samoa. Mao le whaiunga nā o tātou tala mo le nea fiafi mai lau KVZK TV. Whaaftai Amerika Samoa lo whaatasi mai, tō whaatoi fua. ASPA board and employees mourn the passing of Chief of Operations. Congresswoman seeks economic prosperity and security enhancements for the Pacific from the U.S. Dr. Lealofi Wiangalile is now fully approved by both phono chambers. Talofa lava and welcome to your evening news here on KVZK TV. The Board of Directors and staff of the American Samoa Power Authority are mourning the loss of a pillar in the utility industry. ASPA's Chief Operations Officer, High Chief Lavatai Reno Vivao. Here's more on this report.
The American Samoa Power Authority's Chief Operations Officer, High Chief Lavatai Reno Vivao, passed away at the LBJ Hospital. He was 49 years old. This was confirmed in a formal statement issued by the American Samoa Power Authority, which reflected the collective sentiments of the ASPA Board of Directors, Executive Director Wallen Young, and the staff. According to the statement, High Chief Lavatai of Nu'uli was an exemplary leader and a committed employee, devoting his professional career to the authority since 1993. He began his journey as a power plant operator trainee, receiving invaluable guidance from the late Utu Abe Malai, who significantly shaped his initial developments in the energy sector. Through his remarkable dedication and technical proficiency, Lavatai became one of the inaugural graduates of ASPA's apprenticeship program and subsequently obtained a diploma in electrical engineering from the distinguished Manukau Institute of Technology in Auckland, New Zealand. His advancements within ASPA exemplifies his exceptional work ethic and diverse technical capabilities. Over the years, he excelled in various roles, including engineering technician, technician foreman, supervisor, project engineer, and ultimately manager. For more than 16 years, Lavatai served as Chief Operations Officer and second in command at ASPA. During this time, he was instrumental in furthering ASPA's mission and ensuring the delivery of reliable power services to the residents of American Samoa despite numerous challenges. Throughout his distinguished career, Lavatai was recognized for his inspiring leadership and exceptional charisma. According to ASPA, Lavatai fostered a workplace culture grounded in compassion, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to public service, fully embodying the values that ASPA represents. His unwavering dedication to excellence and genuine desire to uplift the community created a significant and enduring impact on the organization and many individuals throughout American Samoa. ASPA concluded that High Chief Lavatai Reno Vivao's legacy of resilience, integrity, and unwavering dedication to service will continue to inspire them through every hurricane, power outage, sunny day, and rainy nights. They are grateful for Lavatai's relentless commitment and perseverance. It has been an honor to serve alongside Lavatai. The High Chief is survived by his mother, Talafulu Lavatai Vivao, and his wife, Christian Vivao. KVZK would also like to extend our deepest condolences to the Vivao family. Joyeta Whengai Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
Congresswoman Uifatali Aumo'amata participated in an oversight hearing of the House Natural Resources Committee's subcommittee on Indian and Insular Affairs. The hearing focused on the Department of the Interior's efforts to promote economic prosperity and enhance U.S. national security in the Pacific territories.
During the hearing, Congresswoman Amata highlighted a crucial issue facing American Samoa and emphasized the challenges faced by the Pacific Islands. According to Amata, 3 Pacific Island countries are increasingly leaning towards China. The independent state of Samoa, the Cook Islands have signed significant agreements with China in the past month. At the same time, Kiribati, which separates American Samoa from Hawaii and the rest of the United States, has begun to align more closely with China. Additionally, Chinese fishing vessels have increasingly violated American Samoa's exclusive economic zone by engaging in illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing in the region. To safeguard U.S. sovereignty, it is essential to strengthen the economies of Pacific territories. For American Samoa's economy, establishing a permanent Coast Guard presence is vital to deter Chinese activity in the area. Amata directed her questions to expert witness Cleo Pascal, who emphasized the need to support U.S. fisheries, such as those in American Samoa, to combat illegal and unreported as well as unregulated fishing. Ms. Pascal also highlighted how American Samoa's fishery faces disadvantages due to regulations that limit fishing in the Pacific remote island nations' marine monuments, and noted the competitive disadvantage of not being eligible for small island developing state status. Ms. Pascal's more detailed testimony reinforced these points. In her inquiries, Congresswoman Amata again called on the Trump administration to reverse the Biden administration's detrimental expansion of national monuments. Subcommittee Chairman Jeff Hurd stated that it is more important than ever for the Pacific to proactively support Pacific territories to keep our nation strong and secure. Chinese and North Korean aggression has increased in the region, and to ensure the safety of our Pacific territories, including American Samoa, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, we must work closely with the Department of Interior's Office of Insular Affairs as we face these growing threats. According to the statement, the U.S. Pacific territories of American Samoa, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands are leading the counterattack against attempts by the People's Republic of China and North Korea to undermine U.S. leadership and interests globally. China and North Korea aims to inflict maximum harm on our fellow Americans in the Pacific territories through increased military aggression, illegal fishing, economic warfare, cyber attacks, espionage, and other forms of coercive and malicious activity. The U.S. federal government must collaborate with the Pacific territories to counter these threats. The Department of the Interior's Office of Insular Affairs manages federal relations with the U.S. territories. The U.S. maintains military bases and installations in these territories, providing strategic land, air, and sea capabilities. The Office of Insular Areas is critical in fostering economic prosperity in the Pacific territories, managing relationships with territorial governments, upholding U.S. commitments to the territories, and ensuring the federal government responds effectively to security threats. The hearing included testimony from national security experts and discussions on key issues for the Department of Interior and the Office of Insular Areas to consider moving forward. Trieta Ferre Mali with your news on KVZK.
The Order of the Sword and Shield inducted its first members at the American Samoa Community College Multipurpose Center yesterday. The ceremony featured speakers including Reverend Jeffrey Tangaloa and ASCC President Dr. Rosemont Makaiwi Pato, with a keynote by Emergency Medical Services Chief Fa'aita Joseph Fa'aita.
So the Order of the Sword and Shield, it mostly profoundly at the mainland, which is the U.S. It all started from a small group of people, and then towards that 20 years or 10 years later, it grew into almost across internationally. And as us over here, we are considered the first in the territory to actually join this new, well, actually considered old and new honor society. So yeah, that's my give on take on that one. Mostly the students are president, and I'm not really good with names, but regarding to that, mostly about 60 members of students are in the society. And another would be a split faction, which is the adults are also. And from these two factions, they are considered a working team, and mostly for the ceremony-wise, it's mostly being held for our president, which is our advisor. Yeah. So mostly it started from the mainland. Yeah. But we got news from it because our advisor, which is Miss Rosaline, they founded us during last year, and they wanted us to join them because We are considered a major for mostly focus on political science, criminal justice, IT, or known as cyber security as well. I'm surprised that we are the first because when I first read about their website, they are mostly focused on adversity, continuity, and also mostly protecting as well. But for here, we're mostly protected, like we know U.S. military and stuff. But all in all, it gives more vibe to our community mostly. The only thing that I was surprised for this new honor society is that they focus on the integrity of the students' future. For those who wants to become lawyers, they could become lawyers. Those who wants to become politician speakers, they could become. But this society, we are being recognized as considered the first because for these guys, they focus mostly on their side, but when it established an international wide, we got called in from that last year, and now we are American Samoa is considered the first honor society out of RPTK.
Another cabinet member has been endorsed fully by the legislature to serve on the Pulu and Pula administration.
The legislature has approved Dr. Lealofiu Yangalei's nomination as the new election commissioner under the Pula and Pulu administration. This pivotal decision follows a period of deliberation after the Senate Rules Committee postponed the confirmation vote the previous week. The committee sought clarity regarding Uyangalei's employment contract from the preceding administration, which he indicated remains valid until January of the following year. During the proceedings, Senator Mangalei Longvi Mangalei, the chairman of the Senate Rules Committee, addressed concerns surrounding Uyangalei's appointment, and he pointed out that the governor's office legal counsel was addressing issues raised by fellow senators, thereby alleviating fears related to the nomination. Dr. Uyangalei's nomination had already garnered support from the House of Representatives, which approved his candidacy last month, showcasing a broad legislative backing. With his confirmation, Dr. Uyangalei will now take on the responsibilities and challenges associated with overseeing electoral processes, ensuring the integrity and reliability of elections in American Samoa. Joyetta Fengai Mali with your news on KVZK.
A son of American Samoa, the quarterback's coach for the Washington Commanders of the NFL, is on island. Tavita Pritchard started his NFL career after coaching at Stanford, where he played quarterback from 2006 to 2009. He served as offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2022, during which 8 offensive players were drafted, including quarterback Davis Mills, who led Stanford to a 4-2 record while earning all Pac-12 honors. Pritchard also coached quarterback Kevin Hogan, who guided the team to a Pac-12 championship and set multiple school records.
My name is Tavita Liumotumotuani Leafi Pritchard. My parents are David and Kelly Pritchard. My dad, his family, he comes from the Pritchard family and the Amavai family from Leone. I'm the quarterback coach for the Washington Commanders, and I'm here on island visiting family and seeing our beautiful home. So I grew up in the Northwest United States. I grew up in the state of Washington, and I played high school football there in Tacoma, Washington, and I got recruited kind of up and down the West Coast, and I ended up at Stanford University, where I studied communication. And I played quarterback there. I started about 20 games from 2005 to 2009. Had a lot of fun playing in college and met some great teammates and coaches. And then I went into my coaching career from that right at Stanford. And so I started coaching at Stanford when I finished playing in 2010. My father coached, so all growing up, I grew up around football. And so I remember when my dad coached, I went to games, I went to practices, I was around it, and I loved the teamwork, the camaraderie, the community of football. But I still didn't know that I wanted to coach, even when I went to college. I thought maybe I'd go into business or finance, something else. And when I finished playing college, I did some different interviews and researched some different occupations, and none of it was interesting to me. And so when I finally kind of came back, and I remember asking our head coach at the time, Jim Harbaugh, I asked him, I said, I none of these other jobs are interesting. I'm thinking about coaching football. And he said, well, there's only one way to know if you want to coach football, and you just got to try to coach football. And so I remember that was my first year in coaching, was 2010, and Andrew Luck was the quarterback, and we had a really good year. We won, 11 games. We played in the Orange Bowl in Miami, and I was hooked. I loved coaching, and I loved just being around, our players. I loved being on our staff. It's all the things I loved about playing football, the same things I get from coaching, right? We have a team. We have a common goal. I think the best coaches are the best servants. I think ole ale pula ile tautua, right? Like that saying, I think holds true in coaching. Where if you serve your guys, if you serve the coaching staff, that's the best way to lead. And I think that's something that I really enjoy about coaching our sport, and even to this day, being around our players and just helping them get better and helping our team win games. Well, now that I've been here for the first time in a long time, my last time on island was not since I was a baby, when my grandma Taulongo Amavai brought me when I was very young. Now I have all the plans in the world to come back as often as possible. So whether that's for training or to visit family, I do hope to come back soon and way more often. I think if anything, now being on island, I had an opportunity. Obviously, I coach football, right? So I'm very close to sports and athletics and football. But I got a chance to go, even in my time here with my sisters and cousins. We went to a play at the community college, and I bring that up because I think as I've been on island and seeing our people in different there's so much talent and so much passion and energy, from our people here. And I think when I see that, if I have any advice, and I don't know that anybody should be taking my advice, I think it's to find what you're passionate about. I think it's to find the thing that really motivates you and gets you out of bed every morning, and whatever that thing is or those things are, I think use that motivation and then pursue that as hard as you can. And we have supportive families that I also feel so much love on this island, from the families and amongst ourselves. And so I think with these support systems, I think what's important is supporting our youth and our people to pursue a lot of those passions, to find what we're passionate about. And I think mine was football, but that's not for everybody, right? So I think for those who want to make it in football, or singing, or drama, or construction, or whatever it is, I think the most important thing is you follow your passion. I just want to say, I'm so happy to be here in American Samoa, and I'm very proud to be from here, for that my roots are from here. And it was a wonderful trip being back, and I love our home, and I can't wait to come back.
In our news from Samoa, Samoa's Prime Minister Fiame Naomi Mataafa remains the leader of the government after surviving a second vote of no confidence in 2 weeks.
Lauli Lewatia Schmitz, the chair and leader of the FAST Party, moved the motion of no confidence. The results showed that 32 members of parliament opposed the motion, while 19 supported it. Fiame needed a simple majority to remain in office, which was granted by the opposition members voting against her removal. Before the votes, the Speaker of the House, Papali'i Li'o Ta'eo Masipa'u, ordered the removal of the Minister of Works, Transport and Infrastructure, Olofiti Va'ai, as well as the Minister of Public Enterprises, Leatinu Uwainso Oyalo, shortly after he summoned them back to vote on the motion of no confidence. When Parliament resumed after the intermission, Olo introduced a motion concerning Speaker Papali'i Li'o Masipa'u. Olofiti Va'ai strongly criticized the Speaker's decision to disregard a motion from Cabinet, alleging that Papali'i was biased. He argued that this action was a clear violation of parliamentary rules, accusing the Speaker of breaching the legislative process and demonstrating bias. The controversy arose from a motion presented by Olo on behalf of the Cabinet, which referenced Provision 83, subsection 4 of the Parliament Standing Orders, stating, and I quote, "It shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific questions upon which the Assembly has concluded the current meeting, except upon a substantive motion for rescission, unquote. According to Olo, the Speaker's refusal to accept and voice this motion shows blatant disregard for parliamentary procedure and sets a dangerous precedent for biased decision-making. The Speaker should not have declined the motion, especially when it aligns with the standing orders of Parliament. He stated that it's clear indication of breaching parliamentary rules and showcasing bias. The motion from the Cabinet specifically objected to further discussions on a matter that had already been settled in Parliament, particularly relating to the second motion for a vote of no confidence against Prime Minister Fiamena Mataafa and her cabinet. This motion received a second from Leatinuu. In response, Papali'i instructed the Sergeant at Arms to remove the aforementioned members from chamber. Joyetta Fengai Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
Please stay tuned for your weather and tide report. And that concludes tonight's edition of your KVZK TV News. Thanks for joining us. Have a blessed evening.